Our next performer will be another conceptual artist and poet, travelled down from Manchester today, and he's also doing a work that actually works off building from fragments of text from Hrabal again. So please, a round of applause for Mr. Tom Jenks.
Hello, thank you for having me. The work I'm going to read is inspired by two things. First, by closely observed trains, and secondly, by the short story A Dull Afternoon. And it's really inspired by the two phrases themselves, which I find very, very beautiful and evocative in their own right. And so I'm going to be doing two things. I'm going to be showing a film which is based on internet searches I did, particularly on YouTube, for the phrase A Dull Afternoon, which brought up very symmetrically, a lot of train spotting videos. And so there are a few of those things going on there. There's me reading a transformed version of the text. There's a little bit of a woman training a dog in a garden. That's another thing described as a dull afternoon. But mainly lots of trains, hence the closely observed trains. And while that is playing, I'm going to be reading from these index cards here, which are 100 instances of the phrase a dull afternoon being used by people on Twitter, on Facebook, and elsewhere on the internet. I'm going to read these at random. There are 100, but I won't manage to read them all in 7 minutes and 51 seconds. It's a dull afternoon in February when I left Nice. Dull afternoon, sky turned grey, threatened rain. My family and I were in the house watching the rain. It wets our front door, windows and potted plants, the leaves outside flew in different directions. It was a dull afternoon. It was a dull afternoon in a shady area, so picture's not so good. Hopefully I'll be able to see one again when conditions are a bit better than photo. It was a dull afternoon. A low foggy stratus was driving rapidly across the sky at low level. It was a dull afternoon with the clouds playing their role. It was a dull afternoon, but I thought both locos would be opened up here and ready to tackle the bank to St Austell. It was a dull afternoon in a lot of ways. It was a dull afternoon not because of Gladiator's victories, because Hrabal could make no fight with him. It was a dull afternoon. It was nice to see so many greys grazing on the beach grasses. It was a dull afternoon with heavy clouds and the yellow-rumped warblers were coming down onto the boardwalk. It was a dull afternoon when I considered nailing two pieces of wood together to make a huge cross. It was a dull afternoon with low clouds. It was a dull afternoon, so I built myself a UFO and took its picture, just for you. It was a dull afternoon in Athens, and I was finishing up a day's work at the office when out of the corner of my eye I noticed movements atop the Parliament building. It was a dull afternoon in late November in the year 1916. It was a dull afternoon in September 1998 when Sporting played against Toledo in the first match of the season. It was a dull afternoon in early June which looked far from promising. It was a dull afternoon. All the pages had finished their task for the day and were shut up in the page cage. It was a dull afternoon. The sky turned grey and it threatened rain. It was a dull afternoon today, so I decided to tackle the problem with the 5-week storage crates. It was a dull afternoon at work without you guys. It was a dull afternoon, an insipid mass of mere European costumes parasoled about lawns. It was a dull afternoon, and about 4,000 turned up. It was a dull afternoon, so the outside shot is not great. It was a dull afternoon in the old-fashioned drawing room with its dying fire, its pale carpet, its wall-stuffed furniture, and pallid mirrors looked dreary. It was a dull afternoon, but it looked and smelt wonderful. It was a dull afternoon at work, but it was tinfoil. It was a dull afternoon until Firehouse Drip arrived, with a storage heart full of coffee and a pocket full of cake. It was a dull afternoon, slow batting by Aussies against English, boring cricket. It was a dull afternoon, the tranquility of the place was shattered by loud voices. It was a dull afternoon to an even duller day. It was a dull afternoon somewhere in mid-August 2008. It was a dull afternoon and hot and humid outside. It was a dull afternoon, but one of the three takes had a number of Canada geese and mute swans in close range. It was a dull afternoon and evening in Washington Square. It was a dull afternoon in the common room. It was a dull afternoon. It took 90 seconds to produce the picture. It was a dull afternoon walking away from the Lemon Festival in Menton, and this grey white fox terrier has no light on his coat. It was a dull afternoon, so I got the students to shoot the rather flat sea and rather dull sky. It was a dull afternoon to an even duller day. The day had dragged on and I was feeling exhausted. It was a dull afternoon with drizzle at times and didn't really expect many birds. It was a dull afternoon. I came home from school, there in a plastic see-through Tesco bag of 4 donuts. It was a dull afternoon and traffic was light. It was a dull afternoon, my reading lamp was on, so at first I could not make out the exact appearance of my visitor. It was a dull afternoon at Grandma Mary's, small cousins fighting and aunts bickering. It was a dull afternoon after heavy lunch. Mother gave me 1 litre of milk and ordered me to boil it. It was a dull afternoon when I last drove past and took this picture. It was a dull afternoon when we had our first meeting. It was a dull afternoon and the game was near the end with Rovers 10-9 down. It was a dull afternoon at the Antique Submissions Department. It was a dull afternoon at work today, not much doing. It was a dull afternoon in Dodge until Miss Kitty announced she was still a virgin. It was a dull afternoon weather-wise, with the temperature hovering between 120 and 22 degrees. It was a dull afternoon in Glasgow following persistent rain. Thank you.